Happy lunch hour, guys. Okay, little observation here for a Sunday morning. I keep, coming across these comments, stories, articles, broadcasts, whatever would be, about poor me. You know, the other day I did the video on the fact that, patriotism's going down, belief in God is going down, having children's going down, and, the only thing that's going up is the greed in this country. It's funny as I see this because, now the stories are, oh, my poor kids, they're not going to have as good of a life as me. They're not going to do better than I did, yada, yada, yada. Okay. And I look at that and I say one thing: whose fault is that? Okay. For a few years now, we've heard stories on the younger generation, Gen Z and even some of the millennials. Oh, I'm not going to have kids. Who would want to bring a kid into this world and everything like that? Okay. Tells me a lot about you as a person. There's a good reason why a good portion, I won't say all, because there are plenty of hardworking people in the younger generation too, but there's a good reason why a lot of them won't have a better life than their parents or their grandparents. They certainly don't have the freaking work ethic. Okay. Oh my God, I have to work 8 hours a day. How am I going to do that? I've got to work 5 days a week. How am I going to do that? All right. Me, like a lot of you, can probably remember days where we worked two full time jobs. I mean, I remember when I was mid 20s, I was working as a tax collector during the day and a bar manager during the night. And for Mondays and Tuesdays, I only had to work 8 to 5. Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, I worked from 8 in the morning until 2 in the morning. And Saturday and Sunday, I only had to work the bar, so I only had to work from 6 o'clock at night till 2 in the morning. Try putting most of these younger kids in that sort of situation. Okay. And yes, of course, you'll have some of them come up and go, I have to do that just to pay rent now. Right. Yeah. Because you decided you needed this fancy apartment with swimming pool and club and, you know, gym and a Starbucks down in the lobby. Okay. You could do like your parents, your grandparents did, and live within their means. Okay. Driving that 1976 Pinto, uh, and living in an inexpensive apartment and saving money so they could eventually get better, a better quality of life. Okay. That's the big deal. It's working harder when you're young, when it's easier to do than it is when you get older. Okay. By the time you get older, you should be able to have a better job. Okay. You should have been able to work your way up at that because, yeah, your grandparents' generation, your parents' generation didn't expect to walk out of college with their humanities degree and demand the corner office and a six-figure salary somewhere and think that they were going to get it. They did, your grandparents and your parents didn't spend 18 hours a day playing Mortal Kombat or Grand Theft Auto or whatever the latest video game craze is that these guys are playing. Your parents and your grandparents didn't spend countless hours on TikTok going, look at me, here's my new makeup, here's my new jeans, this is what I had for lunch, and here's my cat. Okay? No. Even nowadays, okay, 2023, your grandparents, your parents, okay, the boomers, the Gen Xers are still out busting our ass, working, whether it's in a 9 to 5 job or 8 to 5 has been flipped over for the last 40 years, okay? Or we're out doing things to make our lives better. We are out planting gardens, building garages, rebuilding decks, fixing cars, doing whatever. Why? Because we can. Because over the course of our lives, we've developed those skills where we know things like horticulture, carpentry, plumbing, the basics, okay? Not saying that he was out there replumbing a house, but there could be some people that know how to do that, certainly. But you look at the younger generation, they are completely devoid of any skills. They have no knowledge. Again, give them a hammer and a nail and they go, I don't understand. How does this work? Okay. Ask them to tie their shoes. Oh, I can't do that. I'm used to growing up on Velcro. Here's a clock. What time is it? Where's the digital one? I don't know what that one means. Think I'm kidding. I'm not. Okay. That's a lot of the younger generation. If it ain't on their phone, it doesn't exist. Their entire reality lives in a 2-inch by 5-inch piece of technology that fits in their pocket. In an SHTF event, they have no work ethic. They're going to be put to work, but they have no skills. So what work are you going to be able to give them? Most of them are afraid of any guns. So the most simple task you could give them on guard duty, they couldn't even perform effectively because they're afraid of the tool in which they would need to use in case anything happened. Guard duty isn't sitting up like some people seem to believe, like the movie show, sitting in a chair with your feet up on the desk watching 4 video screens. No, guard duty is walking a perimeter, listening, observing, and paying attention. More skills that generation doesn't have. I mean, they have the mental capacity for something for about 10 seconds. If they can't watch a video or see a TikTok in 10 seconds, it's too complicated for me. It's just too much. I don't have the time. I need to get back to my video game. Okay. Do they know how to cook? No. Okay. Simple as this. Give them, a pound of ground beef, some spaghetti noodles, and some tomatoes, and say, here, make dinner, and who knows what you're going to get, But God knows they could get on their phone and go tap, 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 and I can order spaghetti from the nearest Italian restaurant. Don't have a clue how to make it, okay, but they can order it. In an SHTF situation, it's going to be very humorous to watch the younger generation, most of them, not all, with no skills, going, well, you need to, and we're all going to stop them right there and go, no, I don't need to do anything. I don't need to feed you. I don't need to give you water. I don't need to keep you warm. I need to do that for those that get out and work. You want to go work? You better start learning real fast. Otherwise, your life expectancy on this planet is going to be very, very, very tiny. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the days of participation trophies are gone. Nobody's going to care that you showed up one day and give you your hamburger as your participation trophy. Their answer is going to be, what did you do to earn it? And unfortunately, that's one life skill that a lot of millennials do not have. They haven't earned anything, and they haven't learned anything. It's going to be a pretty rude awakening for that group when somebody tells them, when somebody actually yells at them and says, now, go, do it. And they're going to be like, no. And it's like, then there's going to be a pistol pointed at their face or a rifle pointed at their face and says, go do it, or GTFO. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. because all their, false bravado. Well, I'm younger and I'm just going to come take it from you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Throw a stick at me? Okay. I've seen how most of you throw. Okay. My 4-year-old daughter threw better. Okay. Doesn't fly. Sorry. You know, no, that doesn't fly either. Sorry. You're going to try to take something by force. Good luck. I would advise anybody who's young now, throw away all your liberal ideas, learn some skills, learn how to participate in society, learn how to think with this and not your poor, precious little feelings. And maybe, just maybe, you have a little chance of surviving. Because Grandpa Joe ain't going to be there that much longer to protect you and your poor little feelings. And when this country goes back to patriotic, God-fearing, Christian values, you better figure out where you're going to go real quick. You're either going to start learning those real fast or seeing what plane tickets to Canada cost. Pinball out.